Good morning, grade 2. Good morning, everybody. Today is 7th of May, Thursday. Today we will take the continuous task writing for Helen Keller, lesson 14. Let's start our uh, continuous task and lesson. As usual, we said we have a lot of ways to create word cards for yourself. You can learn whatever you want from our site words. Upon, upon. Once upon a time, there was a castle. We have a prince and a little princess. Today, today is Thursday. Together. I like to play together with my friends. Road. We had a long road till the city. Warm. Stay warm. Keep things warm. Nice try. The dog has a nice try. Today, we will learn our continuous task for lesson 14, Helen Keller. Our learning outcomes for today are: I can identify facts and opinion about disabled people. I can analyze facts and opinion about disabled people. I can create a paragraph about disabled people. I want to remind you for something. We have steps for starting a persuasive piece. You should ask yourself, what is something you really want? Who can you ask for it? What will you do if they give it? And you should ask yourself that in persuasive writing, you should write your opinion to convince others. Now, I want you to open the link for the story of Helen Keller, and I want you to watch it all. It's like a cartoon for 9 minutes. I want you to watch all of it to learn about Helen Keller's story. I will give you a little from it, but by yourself, you can open it.
Helen Keller.
So this video is about Helen Adams Keller's story. I want you to remind yourself with that. After you will finish, we will come back to our video. We said that when Helen Keller was 1 year old, she became ill with a high fever. Her parents realized she was completely blind and deaf. Despite her struggles, she learned how to communicate and eventually gave her encouragement speeches. She received many honors from her accomplishments. And I want to tell you something that disabled people or special need people, they are the people who have this ability to do something. Like what, teacher? If you have someone blind, he is disabled or he is a special need. He is a special need or disabled. Disabled here means he has lack of something. If you can't speak, you are disabled. Not you can speak for a short time. No, if you can't speak at all. If you are deaf, you can't hear, it means you are disabled. Special need people who have lack of something. Okay, so as we learn about Helen Keller, we knew that she was disabled and she was a special need. She was deaf and blind. She can see and she can't hear, of course. And she said till she became maybe 7 or 9 years old until she started to speak. Here, I want to remind you with persuasive writing tries to convince the reader of an opinion or belief. And why I'm remind you with that, because we will talk later about our opinion about Helen Keller or disabled people. Let's open our reader notebook page 207 and 208. Helen Keller. When Helen Keller grew up, she gave speeches. Now you will write a speech about Helen Keller's life. You should read page 475. What was it like for Helen Keller to grow up blind and deaf? We will go to the answers. She couldn't see or hear. Everything was quiet and dark. So in page 476 and 477, what problems did Helen Keller have? She couldn't hear. If you remember, Helen, what was her main issue? She couldn't hear people talk, so she didn't learn to talk. She made up some signals for words, but she wanted more. In page 482 and 485, how did Helen learn to communicate? Her her teacher formed letters and spelled words into Helen's hand. Helen learned that these letters made words. So she started her letters by learning the letters with using her hands from her teacher, if you remember, Anna Sullivan. Okay, read page 486 and 487. What other ways did Helen learn? Her teacher taught her many lessons. She learned to read special paper with pumps on it. What's the meaning of this? If you remember, we talked that special people especially who are blind people, they are using braille way of reading. What is braille, teacher? Braille way of reading. It's just the dots and pages, and they are just touching them. They are counting how many dots, and according to the dots, they knew the letters. After you gave the speech to your friends, they asked you questions. Use details from the text and illustrations to help you answer their questions. In page 475, how did Helen become blind and deaf? If you remember, Helen became blind and deaf because when she was too young, she had what? She had a fever. She got sick when she was a baby. Read page 476 and 478. Could Helen communicate at all before she learned to finger spell? She made up hands motions for some things, such as putting on glasses when she wanted her dad. Read page 481 to 484. How did Helen learn to spell? At first, she just memorized the finger spelling. Later, she realized what the finger spelling means. Read page 489. How did Helen become so famous? She wrote letters to Mr. Angonos. She shared them with other people. People read about her life story and wanted to learn more. Again, how did Helen become so famous? Helen became so famous because she was writing letter to Mr. Angonos. Who is Mr. Angonos? He is the one who was the principal for the blind institution place, like the blind school, the school for blind people. He was the principal. So she was writing for him letters. After that, he shared those letters and she became so famous, and everybody know about her story and how she was a challenging person. Because if you are blind and deaf, it is so hard to be any good person. But she tried hard until she became able to read and write, and she became so famous. Okay? Now, if you want to practice more, you can do the next exercise. What is people with determination, and who are people of determination? Here in UAE, the special need people, they are the people who have disability. They are people of determination, and even we call them by these because the word disabled, it's not a good word. It's, sometimes it's offensive. So you can say special need or determination. Please open the link below to see what to see how are the country dealing with them, and you can see their picture down.
Roll the camera. Wow, very nice. Al-Nur is
was a beautiful place to be in.
They are the students who are the kindest, the sweetest, and probably one of the truest persons you could ever meet.
I am good today. Oh my God.
Each of my students are giving me a different kind of joy and contentment. Each of them have really touched my life in a very beautiful way.
When I grow up, I will be a actor. I would like to be Chris Evans.
I'll be a pilot.
Which airline do you want to fly for?
Emirates.
We have about, roughly speaking, 275 students, and we have about more or less 35 different nationalities. Out of that, 10% are.
So for your information, if you want to complete the video, you can see it from the PPT, the whole video, because it's too long one. I want to tell you something that in the UAE, they are taking care with the special needs so much because they are children like you. And we should thank God that we are, alhamdulillah, thank God, we are complete. But there are others, they are not complete like us. So we should help them and we should care about them. From what we learned from Helen Keller live, kindly, I want you to talk about special need people in UAE and how do the UAE take care of them. And I want you to search on internet to find this answer. Really, it will be so easy to find it. Just write special need in UAE and you will find a lot. I want you, in this picture, you are seeing the Prince of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. He is taking care of a little special need girl, and really, he's an ideal for us. Everybody should take care of those special needs because they are so humble and they need our help. So, if you want, please write for me one paragraph about just 5 sentences about the special need people in the UAE and what did you learn from Helen Keller's story. And this is your rubric make you to make your idea clear that you stayed on the topic. I want you to make it as show and tell. So you can just read for me 5 sentences and send to me the video. I will be so glad to have it. Thank you and goodbye for now.